Well, here's a serious question for you. Who is referenced in the Bible? President Trump? President Erdogan of Turkey? Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran? Lock in your guess. And welcome to Bible Science Happening. I'm Lowell Taylor. Great to have you here. We have a fantastic show for you today because let me ask you. I'm going to get right back over here to that right there. And when is the last time we identified a living person of our day referenced in the Bible? Yeah, this is so rare. But who is it? Is there more than one? Gotta ask you. Did you guess Trump? Erdogan? Khamenei? None? All? All right. Well, it is time to get this show on the road, and we got a lot of stuff to cover. So the answer, you're going to want to verify. And I've known that. I've been producing material on the prophetic events leading up to the return of Christ since 1998. And one of the things that I've known is that we have had people say, this Bible event is happening, or that Bible event is happening. But as time has gone on, many of them have been proven wrong. So I know I got a tough crowd. I got a crowd of people that have been dished out all this fake news and bad theories. And so what makes me different? How can I back this information up? Well, I hope to give you enough information today to where you're going to be able to say, you know what? I can see I got some homework to do for myself to verify it, but this looks like the most credible information about the prophetic events leading up to the return of Christ in power and glory. And can we all agree? Christ will return in power and glory when all the prophetic events leading up to his return have been fulfilled as promised. Makes sense, right? So, I know you're wanting me to give you the answer, but I know that me just telling you what I think is not going to be enough. And I am going to give you a lot of information. But the information that I give you towards the very end is just going to pile up on all the other things that I'm going to be going over with you. But that last bit of information piled on top of what we're going to be talking about up to that point, together, a lot of great convincing information. Now, so let's get over here and let's take a look one more time. So who do you think? President Trump? President Erdogan? Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran? Which one is referenced in the Bible? Or is there more than one? The answer is absolutely, positively Ayatollah Khamenei. And absolutely and positively Erdogan of Turkey. Okay, and I'm 99% sure Trump is also referenced in the Bible. And that 1% is closing up really quick. And you're going to see what I mean. So think of that. I can't recall a person in our lifetime that was absolutely referenced in the Bible. And now we have three individuals. This is huge. But on top of that, I'm going to be showing you Bible signs happening. So it's just not a name, it's events that are happening as well. So, like I said, been at this since 1998, but that's not nearly as important as is the information true. So, let me give you a little reference of some of the major discoveries that I've made. And then I'll talk about how you can start verifying this information for yourself. And then I'm going to give you even more information that points to these things actually being true. So let's get back over here to the Bible Signs Happening website. And what I want to do is scroll this over here, and I am going to disappear. All right, so here are 10 of the several huge, major discoveries of the Bible that I've made. Now let's go over to number 10. It's not in any specific order, but I do like to start out with this one here because it's so critical. For centuries, 3 chapters in the Old Testament were thought to be in part about ancient times, like King Alexander the Great. However, now it's come out that those 3 chapters in the Old Testament, they're about our day. Huge difference. Now, it's a difference in time, but it's really huge in the information that we get out of those chapters regarding our time. But look at number 9. An Old Testament prophet and a New Testament prophet both referenced the same succession of 8 kings leading up to the return of Christ in power and glory. This is huge because it means that if we're anywhere close to the return of Christ, then the first king or the second or the third or the fourth or the 6th, 7th, or 8th, one of those is in power somewhere today. Doesn't that make sense? Okay, so big discovery. But look at number 8 now. Number 8. Right now, the 4th king is ruling. We know where he is, we know who he is, and he's not Trump. Okay? But this is great because we know that we are about 4 down with 4 to go. Huge discovery. All right, let's take a look at number 7. Number 7, President Erdogan of Turkey. I have it here that looks to be referenced in the Bible. Take that off. As of December 6th, is now locked in. President Erdogan of Turkey is referenced in the Bible. Huge discovery. Okay, number 6. Ayatollah Khamenei, supreme leader of Iran, is referenced in the Bible. Man, that is huge. All right, that's 2 people referenced in the Bible that are alive and ruling as the president, king, supreme leaders. Big, big news. Okay, but look at number 5. The United States is absolutely, positively referenced in the Bible regarding this very moment in time. In 2 of those 3 chapters I was telling you about. Huge discovery. You know, people have thought that the United States might be referenced here or referenced here, but this is something that as time goes on, we're going to have a lot of Christians understand and agree, yes, the United States is referenced. Big discovery. Okay, number 4. Again, 99% sure President Trump is referenced in the Bible. And we're going to go over more information on that. But look at number 3. A very specific, major, soon upcoming event is mentioned in the Bible, reference to the United States and the 4th king. That's huge. We get to get a glimpse into the future about the United States. But look at number 2. The fate of the 50 United States is referenced in the Bible. How important is that? Boy. Now, this is not the end of the world. It's critical information, but it's not the end of the world. And there is going to be a very bright future for a lot of Christians who get informed, work with God to understand the prophetic events and to work with Him in preparations and getting to a place of safety that God wants you to be. So don't ignore these things. God's there wanting to help you. All right, let's look at number 1. I have discovered how to organize in general order the prophetic events of our day as found in the book of Daniel, book of Revelation. Huge discovery. And we're going to be going over more of that as well. So you can see we got a lot of great stuff to cover in a really short amount of time. So where are we going to start? I'm going to start right up here on the website, Bible Science Happening. And like I said, I have been at this since 1998. And one of the things that has been on my mind is how can I present the information in a way that people would be able to digest it easier. Not a lot of people put so much time in studying the Bible. So I got to be able to have a way that people who have never read the Bible can start to understand the prophetic events and not get too overwhelmed or anything. So here's what I came up with, and I tell you, it was a miracle the way that this happened, and I can tell you about it one of these days. In fact, you can read about it in the back of this book right here. This book, The Prophetic Playbook Story, is by far the very best insight on how Bible prophetic events of our day play out in general order. It's a short, easy to read, powerfully informative, very engaging story, and because it's in story form, it just helps you to understand the information being presented. And it takes you through the prophetic events, and basically from about 1925 to the return of Christ, whenever that is. But it's based on the prophetic events from the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel relating to our day. It is the best place to start. And I really mean that. I hope that you'll get the book, because it's going to give you a foundation to be able to understand a lot of the information that we're going to be talking about. And now, once you get done with the book, then there's two other tools that I have to help you get a better understanding. One of them is that there's a website. You'll read about it in the book. But there's a website in which I share with you the connections and correlations that I found in the chapters that we reference in the book. So in the book, you're going to get little snippets of information, verses, but at the website, we go through the full chapters, and I show you the connections within the chapters and within other chapters, and also within current events. It's amazing, but it's so great, because with the book, this book is like a handbook. As you go through it, you're going to have questions. Write your questions down. And if your questions don't get answered as you go along in the book, then I want you to go to that website where I can share with you the chapters and connections, correlations with other chapters and current events. But you can ask me questions, and I can help you. But I'm going to be referring you back to the book. So hold on to that book. It's your handbook. And then there's another tool. And that other tool is really, really neat. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. There we go. And I'm going to disappear here. Okay. So this here is a poster that I designed, and it has 210 prophetic points leading up to the return of Christ. Now, what I mean by that is that John, and in the book of Revelation, and Daniel, they have mentioned several prophecies relating to our day. So what I did is I took those prophecies and I broke them down into what I call prophetic points. So each prophecy will have a beginning point. That's one prophetic point. And then they'll typically have an end point. That's another prophetic point. And then John and Daniel could have mentioned points in between. So taking the prophecies relating to our day from the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation and breaking them down into prophetic points, I came up with 192. And I think I can show you this just right over here. Give me just a second. Yep. So this one right here, I got a lot of pictures right here, I know, but this one right here this is 192 right here, and then 193 and on down to 210 is all about when Christ returns in power and glory. Okay, so came up with 192 leading up to the return of Christ. So where are we? Are we at prophetic point number 1? Prophetic point 190? Well, the other thing that I did is I took the prophetic points and I organized them in general order. And what helped me to do that is to understand the succession of the 8 kings. So, like I said, we're on the 4th king right now. And so what I did is I took the prophetic points and I organized them with which king is in power when those prophetic points happen. So here are the prophetic points that happened during the 4th king, and then the 5th king, and the 6th king, and the 7th, and the 8th. And that really helps us to see what the general order is of the prophetic points. Now, a lot of information there, right? Well, it's time to start to wrap up this show. And now it's time to show you something really cool. So what prophetic point are we on right now? Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture here of, let me see if I can get it. Where is it at? There we go. Okay. So this here is a picture of the first 33 prophetic points. And we're going to go through them and see how far are we right now. All right. So let me blow this up right here. And we're going to get this really big. Okay. So, prophetic point number 1. This comes from the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 2. It's the first king. The first king. And that king was Pahlavi. And he's from Persia, which is now Iran. But he started to rule in 1925. So we give Daniel 1 prophetic point right there. And then in the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 10, it also talks about the succession of 8 kings in Revelation chapter 17. So, first king, he's in power, so there's another prophetic point. And then, point number 3, again from Daniel chapter 11, verse 2, the first king, he is taken out of power, but his son, so we give Daniel and Revelation a point each on that. And then in point number 5, Pahlavi's son, he begins to reign in 1941. And then, of course, Revelation talks about the second of 8 kings, and so we give another point there. Now, over in Daniel chapter 2, it talks about the second king. He goes, he passes on. He gets removed from power in 1979. And then Book of Revelation, all right, so that king is called fallen. He's out of power. Okay, now Daniel chapter 11 again, the third king, that's Khamenei of Iran. He started to rule in 1979. So we give a point for Daniel for that, also a point for Revelation for that as well. And then point 11, we're talking about Khamenei of Persia. He died in 1989. And so that third king is fallen. And now we go ahead and move over here to the fourth king. Now, with the fourth king, we have prophetic points number 13. And it really goes down to 31, at which time he's fallen, taken out of power, and now 32 and 33 are right after he dies or is taken out of power. But now you see these check marks right here. You got the green ones, you got the brown or gold ones, and then you have red ones. Well, if you look right over here on this chart, green means it has happened, and the gold means possibly happening, probably happening, and then the red means it is happening now. Okay, so in 2013 we had green all the way up to number 15, and in 2013 I was taking an educated guess of where we would be at the end of 2016. Well, here we are, December of 2017, and we have the number 16. This is the fourth king of Persia, Khamenei. By his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. Grecia is the United States. Fascinating. Why would an angel tell Daniel that the United States is called Grecia? Well, look at what our welcoming image is for our country. It's the Statue of Liberty. Look at the White House with the pillars. It looks like a Greek structure. Look at the Supreme Court building. It looks like a Greek structure. And there's a lot of other things around there that has a Greek type of feel to it. So that's it, a lot of more information. But I want you to look right over here that right now Khamenei is stirring up all the other countries against the United States. Now, if you doubt that, then all you got to do is go to BibleScienceHappening.com. And over at BibleScienceHappening.com, we have we have article after article about the things that we're looking at happening. And right here, these are the 6 things that we're watching for to happen, or like in number 2, that has happened. Major prophecy being fulfilled there. So you can see this is something that isn't just one verse that we're pulling out of the air. No, we're pulling whole chapters and connecting whole chapters out of this. And so let's get back over here to these things that are happening. All right, number 16, the 4th king of Persia, Iran. Persia was renamed Iran in 1935. Okay, so Khamenei, by his strength, through his riches, he is stirring up all against the realm of Grecia, which is the United States. Now look at 17. So that's red. That's in progress right now. In Daniel chapter 8, verse 3, the ram has 2 horns. Both horns are high. The second horn is higher than the first. Now, it says, see Daniel chapter 8, verse 21. And here, we're referencing it right here. This is number 18. The ram that has 2 horns, which represent 2 kings, a king from Media and a king from Persia. The area of both places is Turkey is Media and Iran is Persia. So now Khamenei was there first, and so the prophecy is the second king becomes higher than the first. The second king becomes higher than Khamenei. And that was fulfilled in July of 2016. And again, you can read about that at BibleScienceHappening.com and also in the Prophetic Playbook Story. Now look at number 19. Daniel chapter 8, verse 4. The ram, so remember the ram has the 2 horns, which represent Khamenei and Erdogan. They push to the west, and then number 20 here, they push to the north, and number 21, they push to the south. And of course, if you're watching what's going on in the Middle East, you know that all those are in progress. Now look at number 22. No beast, nation, might stand before him. That's Khamenei and Erdogan. And you look at what's going on over there. They're pushing to the northwest and south, and no one is stopping Khamenei or Erdogan. So again, we got that one checked red. It's in progress. Now, number 23. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. That's Khamenei's and Erdogan's. Okay. Now, number 24. But he, Khamenei and Erdogan, did according to his will and became great. Yeah, that's what's going on over in the Middle East, isn't it? Both of them, Khamenei and Erdogan, are growing in power and stature. They're going into Iraq and Syria and they're just spreading more. Yemen. So that's in progress. Now, number 25. Khamenei is described as a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. And so far, Khamenei is fulfilling that prophecy. But look at number 26. The first king of Grecia. Now, the Grecia is the United States. And look at this. He begins to reign, and it's described as the rough goat is the king of Grecia. The horn is the first king of Grecia. So even though it's saying king, it still represents a president. We know that now because Erdogan fulfilled a prophecy and he's a president. So, but look at number 27. A he-goat. So is that Trump? We're going to find out. Came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the he-goat has a notable horn between his eyes. Okay. Yeah. So who this he-goat, the horn is going to be identified absolutely as the person that leads the United States in an attack against Iran and Turkey and removes those two kings, those two people, Erdogan and Khamenei. That fulfills the prophecy. But I want you to think about it. What other country could fulfill that prophecy where they come from the west on the face of the whole earth and touch not the ground and stomps upon that ram? Absolutely, the United States can fulfill that prophecy. Now, but you can see that we've gone from prophetic point number 1 in 1925, and now we are here in 2017, almost 2018, and we are on prophetic point number 25 that has happened or is in the process of happening. Absolutely. And then we have number 26. Is it Trump? Well, he has the personality, doesn't he? So we'll have to see. But he did sign today or yesterday a bill that funds the military budget for 2018, $700 billion. It was more than the top 7 military countries' budget combined. That's huge. So it looks like we're going the right direction for the prophecies to continue to be fulfilled. Now, I hope that you'll take the opportunity to order the Prophetic Playbook story. It's such a great story to lay out the prophetic events from about 1925 to the return of Christ in general order, as we see in the book of Revelation, book of Daniel. So, huge time right now. We have 3 people that are referenced in the Bible And yeah, Trump, I'm putting at 99%. But again, that 1% is closing up very, very quickly. So that's the show for today. Huge major news. Great information here that we just don't have that background to where we've been able to say that Bible event is happening and to watch it happen, watch it be fulfilled. But now you can. You're seeing which ones are in progress right now. So look forward to having you order the book. And after you read the book, then there's that website where we'll be able to talk more about the Bible chapters and get you more up to speed with understanding the prophetic events of our day. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great day. Make it no other way. That's the way that God wants us to.